Okay, here we go. All right, everybody, so welcome to our team call. Today's Tuesday, April 14th, and today we have an awesome guest speaker. So let me introduce her to you guys. So she is my amazing upline, Miss Fin Funky herself, Danielle Natoni now. And actually tomorrow's gonna be her 5th year anniversary as a Beachbody coach. She was a 5th grade math teacher. She was top 10 in 2012, and correct me if I'm wrong, Danielle. She was elite coach in 2013, 2014, and she's going to be an elite coach in 2015 as well. She's an Insanity Master Trainer. She's been in the Asylum and Insanity Max 30. In 2014, she's one of our newest millionaire in the Millionaires Club. She just got married to her best friend and the love of her life. And I just found out that she just purchased her land for her dream home. So it's such an honor to have her on our team call tonight. So Danielle, I'm going to unmute you, and then you can just take it away.
Cool. Well, thank you, everyone. And so it's interesting to me that not more of my coaches asked me to be on their team call. And so when Leticia was like, can you be on my team call? I'm like, of course I will. So I'm super happy to be able to talk to you tonight. So you hear all those things, right? Millionaires Club and top 10 coach and elite and, master trainer. And you hear all these things and you're like, oh gosh, that's so much, that can't be me. So you may have heard this before, but I tell it differently every single time. So what I really want to do is take you back and tell you my story, because what I want you to understand is that I'm no more special or no more talented than any of you. I'm not. I don't have like some magic secret genetic code that allowed me to rock this business. Everything that I have, you have. And actually you have more than I have, because while my upline is an amazing person, she didn't have tools and systems like this back then when I started. And so I kind of was self-grown and self-taught. And so in turn, what I have done is tried to open up, a lot more opportunities for learning for you guys. So you guys even actually have it easier than I did. So I really want to kind of take you back and share with you some of the struggles that I've had along the way, so that you can really understand that maybe you're sitting there thinking, she is only successful because she's in videos. Nope, not the case. Tons of people have been in videos and they're not successful coaches. Or maybe you're sitting there thinking, well, she's 6-pack abs, so that's why she's successful. Nope, plenty of people have abs and aren't successful. And actually, me being super fit is a hindrance, not a blessing. I actually have to work harder to really gain people's trust and let them believe in me. So what I want to do is just really take you back from the beginning so you can understand where I started and kind of some of the things that happened to me along the way. So as Leticia said, tomorrow marks the 5-year anniversary of me signing up to be a Beachbody coach. But truth be known, really 1 month ago should have been my anniversary of signing up as a Beachbody coach. Because when I originally signed up, and then that very same night I sent in my cancellation form. The exact same night that I signed up, because I had a panic attack. I couldn't afford the sign-up fee. I couldn't afford the Shakeology, and I was fairly certain that this either was a scam or I couldn't do this. And so the very same night that I signed up, I called my upline, Jackie, and I said, I have to quit. Will they give me my money back if I quit now? And she was really calm, and she said, yep, they'll refund your money. And, if that's what you really feel like you need to do, then okay. And so she didn't pressure me. And 1 month later, April 15th, 2010, is when I signed up to be a Beachbody coach. And when I did that, I put my account in the negative. And by putting it into the negative and then incurring overdraft fees, I also made other things bounce that were outstanding. So for me, it's really come full circle that 5 years ago, my account was in the negative, in the red, to join this business. And here I am 5 years later paying cash for a very extensive dream home. And so I say that to you because anything is possible in this journey. So let me take you back to, April of 2010 and what my life was like. I was married to a different person. and a very different person. Okay, so not into health and fitness, a smoker, a drinker, a partier. Don't want to throw him under the bus, but that's what that was. Okay, we have two beautiful children together. So they're now 13 and 9, but at the time, subtract 5 years from that. I was a full-time 5th grade math teacher. And so where I was we got married because we were a little bit pregnant, and we made a lot of stupid decisions financially along the way. We had, 10 credit cards, all maxed out, and then all eventually going into collections, not being able to make payments. I got us into payday loan debt. And if you don't know much about payday loan debt, good. It is the worst kind of debt there can be. It is impossible to get out of. And what happens is you wind up having to get out more payday loans because you're trying to catch up and pay the other payday loan. So where I found myself in 2010 was making a decent salary. Texas teachers do fairly well in the grand scheme of education. My ex-husband was a server. So we had inconsistent money, waited tables at Chili's, and we couldn't pay the bills. We had a mortgage on our home and car payments, and our house mortgage wasn't that much, and our car payments weren't that much, but we could not make it from paycheck to paycheck because we had all this outstanding debt. We had all these payday loans, and just things would always fall through. And when you have an ex-husband now who is into drinking and smoking, those things add up very quickly. So where I found myself was pretending at work. I put on this, facade that everything was great. My life was perfect. I did not have financial troubles. Like, I would never have let anyone know that. I would have never let anyone know that I was struggling. Meanwhile, my phone was ringing nonstop with debt collectors, with credit card companies. They would call my parents. They would call his parents. They would call my friends. They would call my work. I had to convince the secretary of the school that it was a scam, that somehow my number had been given out incorrectly, that certainly that couldn't be me that they were really calling for. So I tell you this because I really want you to understand that I was not just in like normal American credit card debt, okay? I was in a place where I was in an unhappy marriage. I had this job that I loved, but I knew I was never going to get anywhere. I was never going to get out of debt or be able to pull us out of this, because as much as you love teaching, okay, sunshine and drawn, cards from 8-year-olds don't pay your bills. And there's, no matter how many more degrees you get, there's just not a lot of pay increase in teaching. So my ex-husband and I at the time came to this point where he was like, you need to get a second job. You have the summers off. The only way we're going to get out of debt is for you to get a second job. And I was so upset. I was like, I don't want to get a second job, because I had waited tables and bartended my whole life. Even when I still was teaching, I used to wait tables before I moved to Texas, one night a week, because I knew I could pay the kids' daycare with the cash that I made from waiting tables. But in this town that I lived, and I was working and my kids were going to school there, I just didn't want to wait tables in the summer and have to wait on the families of my students, because the town that I live in is like a very kind of like small connected community. And I just, at that age, at that time, so I'm 36 now, so I was 31. I'm sorry, at 31 years old, I did not want to teach school during the day and wait tables at night. I had no desire for it. So I had always loved fitness. I grew up as a dancer. I don't know that a lot of people know that about me because you see me as like the insane girl, but I grew up as a dancer, and I used to go to the gym every day after work. So I've always been into working out. My gym bag came with me in my car Monday through Friday. Not always Friday. Teachers love happy hour. So I would skip the gym and, to drink away my problems, right, on Fridays. So, but my gym bag was always with me. So I loved fitness. So I started to get this idea in my head, like, well, what if I became a group exercise instructor? Maybe I could do that to make some extra money instead of waiting tables. I had no idea that group exercise instructors don't make a lot of money, that they do it because they have a passion for fitness and a passion for helping people. So I went to the gym. I worked out at 24 Hour Fitness, and they all knew me because the gym rat, right? Like, your regulars, so they knew me. And I went up to the club manager and I said, so let me ask you, if I got certified and, would you hire me to teach classes? And he said, sure. I said, okay, so how do I do that? So he said to me, we're partnered with Powder Blue Productions, which at the time Chalene Johnson owned. Beachbody has now since bought it out. So it was Turbo Kick, Hip Hop Hustle, Pio, etc. I had never heard of any of those things. I didn't really take classes because when I would take classes, I felt like the instructors weren't that good. And I was, kind of like, they just don't have passion or energy. So I don't want to take that class. So they said, you know what? There's a Turbo Kick training on this weekend. Can you go? If you go, that's a class we teach here. We'll hire you right away. So without question, without even knowing what it was, I went to that Turbo Kick certification. And let me tell you, that was the universe's way of saying, this is where you need to be at that exact moment. We had just gotten our tax return. That was back when I didn't have to pay the government an obscene amount of money, one of the downfalls of being a successful coach. So I had just gotten my tax return, and my ex-husband at the time said, okay, you can use some of that money to become a Group X instructor if you promise that this is going to help make us more money than if you had waited tables. I said, okay. So I took that tax return money and I went to that Turbo Kick training. And that is where I met Jackie Bull. Jackie Bull is like your Beachbody great grandma, however you want to look at that, depending on where you are. So she's the woman that invited me to the business. So I walk in that day, and I just knew from the minute I met her, I was in love with her. Y'all, if you don't know who she is, look her up. After this, she's so gorgeous. Like, I am like obsessed with her hair. She's got this blonde curly hair and this super thick Texas accent, and she is just all Southern and all grace. And I was mesmerized by her. Mesmerized. She could have told me to start a business in like creating dog poop sandwiches, and I would have believed her. I would have been like, okay, I'm going to be a dog poop sandwich maker. Awesome. Like, I just believed her from the very moment she spoke to me. So at lunch, I sat down with her instead of mingling with the other participants, and we just started talking. And so she told me, I make more doing Beachbody than I do anything else I do. And I was like, well, what's Beachbody? I'd never heard of it. She's like, well, have you ever heard of P90X? And I'm like, I don't think so. She's like, what about Insanity? I'm like, nope, never heard of that either. She's like, hip hop abs? I'm like, nope. Y'all, I had no connection or tie to Beachbody. Had never heard of it, had no understanding. So she just kind of kept going on, and she explained to me she had great results with Turbo Jam. She was in the Turbo Jam infomercial. She had just come back from Hawaii, which was the Success Club trip that year. And she just was saying all the right things to me. I was like, I had never been on vacation. That wasn't with like my parents back when I was a kid. I certainly, was looking for a way to make more money. And she kept telling me, girl, you could crush it. And so I just believed her. I bet you whoever your upline is told you, I think you could do really good in this business. And hope you must have believed them because you're here on this call, right? So I believed her. I said, okay, yeah, I can do this. So I went home that night and I told my now ex-husband, I said, I'm going to solve all our debt. I'm going to be a Beachbody coach. And he was like, what's a Beachbody coach? I'm like, I have no idea. I was like, but she's really pretty. And she says that she makes more money doing that than anything else. And he, of course, was like, maybe your husband said some of these things. You shouldn't do that. That's definitely a scam. It's a pyramid scheme. You are not a salesperson. This isn't for you. So doubt. It all started creeping in. And, we already had like a bad relationship. So I was like, whatever, I'm going to do it anyway. So I marched into our little computer room and I got on there and I got out her business card and I signed up. And I texted her because I'm like, it says something about Shakeology. What is that? What do I have to do that? So, of course, she went through the thing, Shakeology, it's so amazing, and you need it to be active. And I'm like, I can't afford Shakeology. And she was like, well, you really need it, and it's going to be so good for you. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I purchased Shakeology, and I purchased a coach, and that's when, again, doubt. All this doubt started setting in on me. So I need you to know I wasn't confident from the very beginning. So all this doubt sat in, and I sat in that computer room for about 30 minutes, and I just had a panic attack. And that's when I texted her, and then I was like, I need to talk to you. I was like, I need to quit. I need a refund. I can't do this. So I quit. And that same night that I signed up. Now, you know how when you hear something or you never hear about something and then all of a sudden all you do is hear about it, right? So I had never heard of Beachbody, never heard P90X, never heard of Insanity. Now all of a sudden it's all I was hearing about. So people at my school knew I was into fitness. So the teacher across the hall randomly comes up to me like 3 days after this happened, and she's like, hey, have you ever heard of something called Turbo Fire? She's like, it's this new program coming up by Shalene Johnson, and I think I want to order it, but I wanted to know your thoughts. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, don't order it. I was like, I kind of was going to be a coach, but now I'm not going to be a coach, but I might still be a coach. I was like, so please don't order it so you can be my first customer. And then there was just like all these signs. I saw the P90X infomercial for the first time, and something kept speaking to me. This is going to sound really cheesy. Something in my heart said, I didn't even think I'm going to cry. Something in my heart said, Danielle, this is what you are meant to do. Okay. There was no real reason. Like, I was still in debt. I didn't know any of our products yet. I didn't have this great transformation story, but something in my heart said, Danielle, you are supposed to do this. So April 15th, 2010, I signed up to be a coach. I paid $39.95 for my coach sign-up fee. At the time, Shakeology was $89.96. I paid for it. My account immediately went into the negative. I immediately incurred overdraft fees, which in turn turned other things into the negative. And I said to myself, I know this is going to work. I don't know why I knew that. Like, so I need you to kind of like think about that for a second. And I need you to find kind of like that mind frame of like, okay, I'm just going to have some belief. So I just had this belief, I'm going to freaking make this work. If all of these other people out there can make it work, why can't I? Right? Like, why am I different? If all these other people that, she started showing me who have been successful, if they can be successful, why can't I? So I signed up the woman across the hall. She was my very first customer, right? And then I started becoming the worst Beachbody coach on the planet. Awful. I was so terrible. Like, they should have given me a ribbon for it. Okay. I was terrible. And here's why. I did not pick a program to buy. Actually, that's a lie. I picked the cheapest program that I could find because I couldn't afford it, and that was Yoga Booty Ballet. And y'all, oh my God, like, they should just burn those. They should take them off of Google and never let anyone see that we actually had that program, okay? They're so cheesy and they're so terrible, and they're just like in my storage unit. I still have them. But so I didn't do any of our workout programs because you probably heard me say this. In my mind, I was fit. Fit people work out at the gym. They don't work out at home. So I'm not doing one of our workout programs. I'll just tell people they're good. And I didn't drink our shake because I don't need a freaking meal replacement shake. Hello, have you seen me? Right? That's what I was thinking. I don't really think that now, y'all. But that's what I was thinking, right? Like, I don't need a shake. Like, who replaces a meal with a shake? Overweight people do that, not fit people. This was my mindset at the time. So I did not do our program or our shake. And so all I could do was sell people on what I thought. Oh, you should buy P90X. Well, why? Oh yeah, it's such a great program, and I just was trying to sell. So I couldn't understand why I wasn't getting many customers, why I wasn't signing coaches. And I signed some coaches and I signed some customers because, I'm convincing and I'm cute and, I got a little bit of a personality. And so I was able to use my charm to get some people to sign up for things. So I was Emerald. But if I posted this in the coach group before, if you look at the first 6 months of my paychecks, 0, 0, 14, 0, 0, 28. Ooh, when I got $28, I was so stoked because that meant I could put a little bit of gas in my car. 0, 0, 14. And that's how it went. And I couldn't figure it out. And so my ex-husband, of course, was in my ear. This isn't working. This isn't working. You said this was going to help make us money. In the meantime, okay, I'm still teaching elementary school. I started teaching group exercise classes. I was teaching 14 group exercise classes a week in addition to teaching school because the only way you can make money is to teach more classes. And I wasn't making any money with Beachbody, so I had to do something, right? I'm supposed to be getting us out of debt. So I'm sucking it up. I've never hit Success Club, don't even know what it is. I'm just trying to sell this thing. And then an event comes up. And it was like an hour away, and I didn't ever travel at that time. And I thought, maybe I should go to this event. Maybe if I, Jackie keeps telling me events are where the magic is. Maybe if I go to an event, I'll figure this out a little bit better. So I drove to this event an hour away, which is a big deal for me. Nobody knew who I was. Just kind of walked in, and I sat down by myself. And they started with success stories, and they were coming up one by one. And then this woman, Caroline Van Zant, who used to teach Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m. at the gym, and I taught at 9:30 a.m. So I knew who she was. She gets on stage and she says, I started in April of 2010. And I'm like, that's where I started. She's like, and I'm a diamond coach. I'm like, what the? I'm like, I'm an emerald coach. And then here's the kicker. She says, and I pay my family's mortgage with my Beachbody payment. What? Like you guys have no idea how upset I was. Seriously, they're just computer glasses. Don't freak out. So anyway, you guys have no idea how ticked off I was. Like, because I'm very competitive with myself. And I was like, this, bleep wants to come in here starting the same month that I am. And she's paying her mortgage. And I'm in the negative hiding Shakeology boxes in the back of my closet because I'm not drinking them. And I don't want my ex-husband to know what the hell those are. So that was the moment that everything changed for me, right then and there, because I saw other people. And here was what the crazy thing was. I saw person after person in this room who's making this work. Some overweight, some old, some into fitness, some not into fitness. And I realized there's not a common denominator here. There's not one specific type of person that rocks this business out. And if all these people can do it, again, why not me? So I sat there and I just started feverishly taking notes. And one of the things they talked about was being proof the products work. And I was like, well, that's one thing I'm not doing. And then the other thing they talked about was personal development. And I had never picked up a piece of personal development because in my mind, crazy people do personal development. Depressed, bipolar, psychotic people do personal development. Those are the people that go to the self-help section. And you have to remember, I'm a school teacher with 2 kids, a husband who, wasn't the most helpful, and I'm teaching 14 group exercise classes a week. And you want me to read a book? That's how I'm supposed to be better in this business. That's where my mindset was. Until at this event, they talked about until you change this, until you change all the thoughts that go in your head, all the negative, all the doubt, all the, just all these like things that go on in that brain of yours, until you change that, nothing will help you work this business. So I'm like, all right. So I turned around to the guy behind me who's an elite coach and a good friend of mine, and I looked at him and I said, you mark my words, this will be the last event that nobody knows who I am. I'm going to make something of myself in this business. And I did, right? I just, from that moment forward, I kind of like slammed my hand down and I was like, no more. Like, if all these people can do it. So right now, if you're sitting there and you're struggling in your business, I want you to think to yourself, no more. After this call, I'm going to stop trying to make all these excuses of why it's not working for me, and I'm just going to freaking make it work. So I did. I started a fit club because I was like, that was like a big thing at the time. And I'm like, okay. I was like, I'm going to start a fit club. And I started thinking, who do I know that would lend me some space? One of the kids in my class, his name was Caleb. His dad owned a karate studio in town. So I went to his dad and I'm like, hey, I was like, would you let me use this space once a week for like a free fit club? I'm like, and then, I'll advertise you on my social media. P.S. I had joined Facebook simply to become a coach. So it's not like I had an amazing social background. I have taught myself social media along the way, and that's like a whole nother call. But anyway, so I started a fit club, and I would just invite all the teachers from my school, all the parents, and they would come, and I would make Shakeology live for them and put them in little cups. I would make them join up for the free portion of my website, and I just started gaining interest. So like Michelle Moss, for example, is one of my personally sponsored coaches, and I was her kid's 4th grade teacher, and she would come to my fit club sometimes with her kids, and she's still a coach on our team, because that's how I met her, is that I started my little fit club, and she would come work out. Then I was like, okay, I have to be proof the products work. I'm going to start drinking this damn shake. So I, every day, started drinking the shake. And in the beginning, I didn't like it because I hadn't found my magic recipe. Right now, I've been like 4 years consistently, I drink it the same way, okay? Then I'm like, okay, I probably should do one of these workout programs. So I looked at all of them and I connected the most with Insanity. Y'all, can you imagine if I'd never done Insanity? Like, that's a whole nother call we could talk about. So I did Insanity, I started drinking my shake, and then I read my first personal development book, which was The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. Very similar to The Compound Effect. And that's where my mind just really started changing. Like, okay, I started thinking in a different mindset. And so then I just started becoming a sponge. I listened to more trainings. I watched videos on YouTube. I started meeting up with other coaches. So I started working with Jimmy Hayes Nelson, who's not even on my team, but he lived in my area. And so we became partners for a while. And I was, like trying to just be a sponge and learn from him. So the other great thing about getting to an event, y'all, is that you network with people, and they don't even have to be people on your team. Sometimes people that are even outside the network, it's like you can just share ideas and really learn and grow from them. The first month that I ever hit Success Club was January of 2011, okay? January of 2012 was my first month as a full-time Beachbody coach. So I want you to really think about that for a second. I had already been a coach for 6 months, but sucked. Never hit Success Club, was just terrible, trying to sell the products without being proof the products work. The first month I hit Success Club, on consecutive 12 months thereafter, and that was able to build my business to a point where I didn't have to keep my teaching job any longer. So when people like Leticia tell you that Success Club is a non-negotiable and the absolute key to your business, you need to believe that, because by hitting Success Club 12 months in a row consecutively, I was able to build my business to a point where I could retire from my teaching job. So also what happened is, okay, I start hitting Success Club January, February, March comes around, and the Success Club trip, I didn't earn it, right? Because I didn't hit Success Club the year prior. So they all go on a cruise. So I was watching on social media just bitter. So if you're not going to Cancun tomorrow, I want you to watch every ounce of what we do on there. And I want you to be so stinking jealous that it puts this fire in your belly that you are like, this will be the last trip I never go on. And that's what I said. I watched that trip. I used to open up Facebook like, guess there's going to be more freaking cruise pictures. Like, I was so bitter. But that bitterness seriously fueled me. I was like, I'm not missing these trips. Like, I want to be on these trips. So I vowed that that would be the last trip I was never on, and that's been the case. So then, fast forward, okay, great. 2012, I was a top 10 coach. I've been elite 3 times. I have since built this business to where, yes, I was hit the Millionaires Club, which means that cumulatively I have earned $1 million. However, this year I will earn over $1 million in 1 year. I will be a 7-figure income earner this year based on what I make per week. Okay, that's crazy. Y'all, sometimes on Thursdays, I look at my paycheck and I drop my phone. I'm like, that's stupid. That is stupid money. Because my job basically is playing on Facebook. I play on Facebook, I motivate some people through some phone calls, and I make the most ridiculous money ever, right? But here's the thing. I tell you all of that because I did not start with a golden spoon in my mouth. I started with 0 coaches, with no transformation story. So some of you have leaps and bounds ahead of me because you were a customer first and you had great results and you have a before and after picture to share. All I had was the hatred of others because I was a mother of 2 with a 6-pack and no transformation story whatsoever. So I had to build so much trust with people. It was ridiculous. I started from the bottom and I worked my way up. And every single one of you has the absolute power to do that. I taught myself how to use Facebook. When I started Facebook, I joined just because of coaching, and I started with Danielle's Fit Tip of the Day. That's honestly how Fit and Funky eventually grew into what it is. And I would take fitness magazines and I would open it up and I would close my eyes and I would spin my finger and I would put my finger on it. And then I would be like, okay, how can I make that Danielle-ified, right? And that would be Danielle's Fit Tip of the Day. I just started slowly teaching myself these things. I would try different things. I tried doing the whole booth, or I tried sending samples to people. I tried every different thing under the sun. Some things were successful, some things weren't. And I'm going to give you another tip or a little tidbit. In January of 2011, when I started hitting Success Club, and it really became evident to me that I could be good at this, and I wound up quitting a year later, there were nights where I maybe got 4 hours of sleep. Okay? And so and I think if you're in the It Starts With Diamond group, someone talked about sacrifice. But you guys, I knew that if I worked really hard then, it would pay off. There were times where I would have to ignore my children, right? Not the best thing in the world. But now, yesterday, my kid had a volleyball tournament on a Monday. Cool. I was there the whole time because I don't have anyone to answer to but myself. So for 1 year, I worked my ass off. Okay. And I'm sorry if there's like little ears anywhere, but that's what I did. I would wake up at 4 or 4:30 a.m. to get my workout in before I would go to work. And then from 5 to 6 a.m., I would work on my business. And, from 6 to 7, that's when I would get ready for school and so on and so forth. And I quit eating lunch in the teacher's lounge and I would come back to my room and I would work on my business. And I would stay up and, kids would eat dinner, go to bed, and then I would stay up sometimes till midnight, knowing I had to get up at 4 or 4:30 in the morning, because I said to myself, these other people can freaking do it, so can I, and if that means that I have to be sleep deprived right now, then that's what I'm going to do. Sleep is very important to me now because I have afforded myself the time to sleep. I have created a life that I designed. If my kids get sick, I don't have to do lesson plans and try to find a sub and stress about, oh my gosh, well, I already took off 3 days. I can go to Cancun on a Wednesday through a Sunday and it's not a big deal. And so the other thing that I really want to say to you is if you really want this business, you're not going to go, oh, well, I only have 15 minutes in my day. No, you choose to have only 15 minutes in your day. You could find more time if this is something that you truly wanted. And here's the other thing. You don't have to want it. If that's not you, if you don't want to work that hard and you don't want to be at the level I'm at, cool. You absolutely don't have to. That's the other beautiful thing. You can decide, I just want a discount. Or you can decide, I just want to earn enough money to, pay for Christmas in cash. That's completely up to you. But don't go telling Leticia, I just don't understand. I really want to make this business work, but I can't make it work. I swear I've tried everything. You haven't tried everything. You haven't. You really haven't. And so I know that, you're thinking, gosh, she's kind of mean. It's not that I'm mean. It's just that I've heard every excuse in the book, and every single one of you is so special. You really are. You are so special and so unique. Not everyone will bond with me, and not everyone will be inspired by Leticia, but they might be inspired by you. They might look at you and think, I want to do what she's doing. And so you bring a special and unique thing to this. And so if you want to be an elite coach, or if you want to fire your boss, or if you want to have extra money to pay off your student loans, whatever that is, then you have got to commit to it and work for it and quit having excuses and understand that successful people started from the bottom and they work their way up just like you. And there's no magic to this business other than hard work, determination, and enough belief in yourself to say, yeah, I can totally do this. So that's it. That's what I have to say, Leticia. I'm done. I'm drinking my Shakeology now.
Thank you so much. I loved it. And I was actually talking to one of my coaches yesterday, and we were talking about how we honestly forget that these super successful coaches at one point had a beginning. I mean, we just see them where they're at now. And the first thing, that was me, I would think, never going to happen. I'm never going to get there. Are you kidding me? She's, superstar diamond. I'm never going to get there. And it wasn't until my mind switched, like you said, that one day I just said, I can do it. And I thought the same thing you said, Danielle. If these people can do it, why can't I? I can do it. I mean,
do y'all know that every month I panic on the first of the month when it goes to 0 Success Club points? You can ask Darren. I panic every month. I'm like, well, this is it. I'm not going to make it. Nope, it's not happening this month. And actually, we were on our honeymoon, and I still hadn't hit Success Club 10, and I would wake up every day in Bora Bora, in the most beautiful place in all the land, and I would look at him and go, I still need 2 more Success Club points. And he'd be like, seriously, drop it. You're going to get it. It's fine. Even this month, I had a slow start, and I just hit it today. And every day, I would tell him, the first thing I say when we wake up, I'm like, I still need 2 more Success Club points. So I want you to know that also, fear doesn't go away, right? I don't just wake up every month and think, ooh, I've got this on lock, right? I just know, these are some non-negotiables. I have to hit Success Club. But I still panic, and I still freak out, and I still worry about all, some of the same things that you guys think about. I just have the mindset now where it's not non-negotiable. I'm going to do it.
Love it. Love it. Yes, totally. I totally think we all need to understand that, everybody has a beginning. And I love that you share yours because, like I said, we forget and we put these coaches on a pedestal and we think that's never going to be us, or we think their life is perfect and it all started perfect and you just woke up one day and you were like a 5-star diamond coach. But we have to remember that's not the case. You guys have all worked super hard to get where you're at. So thanks for sharing that. And I love that you said that you were bitter seeing the Cancun picture or the the Success Club pictures that one year didn't go. Because I felt the same way when I didn't go to Summit the first year. Because I signed up in April and Summit was that June. I didn't think it was important. I just didn't go. But I was seeing all these Summit pictures. I was just like you. I'm like, oh, bitter, like all these people posting about stupid Summit. And I vowed there I was never going to miss another Summit. I was never going to miss Success Club trip. And here I am going on my second Success Club trip.
As a premier coach, which means you're going to have some fun gifts and special welcomes and stuff.
Yeah, so like Danielle said, guys, use that as fuel to motivate you to get to the cruise next year, to hit Success Club, and just to rock it. But thank you so much, Danielle, for being on this call with us. It's such an honor to have you. And I'll see you tomorrow in Cancun.
What time do you get there?
I get there at 11 a.m.
Yeah, we don't land till like 1:30 because I travel so much that I was like, I'll get there when I get there. And one fun fact, and then I swear I'll shut up and let you guys go back to your family. So you may not know this about me, but I'm actually an introvert. So these kind of trips give me major anxiety. So I love presenting and speaking. Like at Summit, I speak to thousands of people on stage, and I love that. But you tell me I have to go to a trip or go to a party and interact in a small group of people, and it gives me such heartburn. So everyone's like, are you so excited about this trip? And I'm like, uh-huh. And it's because I'll enjoy the part with our team, but like every night there's like a party, and I hate that. And most people would think I'm an extrovert. And I'm not. I really just like my small, close group of people, or I like to be alone. And so having to go to these events, gives me such anxiety. And so that's the other thing I want you to know. Introverts, extroverts, all different kind of people are successful at this. And it actually, I'm one of those people, if a party gets canceled, I'm like, yes. So anyway, that was one little final. Now I'll shut up because I know you guys are busy and you have places to be, because I could talk all night. So
thank you.
I haven't packed, and I need to pack. So.
Me too. I need to pack too.
I'm just really going to throw a bunch of bikinis, some flip-flops, and some dresses in there, and boom, we're good. Or I'll just buy some stuff.
There you go. But anyways, thank you so much for being on our call. You freaking rock. And everybody, you guys have a great night, and let's call it a night.
Bye.
Thank you.